Hi, my name's Diane Morgan, and I'm talking to you today about information that I have discovered in my research paper, which will be attached. So, all references are in the research paper. A topic today is qualities of a good Christian manager, and I've tried to set this up so that you can see the PowerPoint, but that will also be attached to the presentation. So, first, I'll run down what we're going to discuss today, which is managerial experiences, characteristics, and tasks of managers, how managers manage people, the challenges and recommendations for those challenges, as well as managing from a Christian worldview. And then we'll wrap it up. So, first, I wanted to tell you why I chose this as the topic for my research paper. Having been in sales for many, many years, I've had many different managers, sales managers, as well as upper managers. And I wanted to go over a few of the not so great experiences that I had. First is the micromanager, the guy, use that term generically, the guy that wants to oversee every little minute task that's not even related to the big picture of achieving the objective, which for me has always been obtaining sales in whatever capacity that was in. The micromanager is usually not very well liked, sometimes intimidating, and very task oriented, but a lot of times not achieving the overall goal. The second manager I wanted to discuss is the absent manager. So, being remote in sales capacity, you need some direction, some touch points with a manager, and sometimes managers are just not there, and you never hear from them unless something goes wrong or unless there's a problem. So, that's not really good interaction. That's not motivating or encouraging to achieve a positive overall outcome. I've had the downhill manager, which everything is fine and goes along well until upper management puts the pressure on about a particular item. And then, like the personality change, you go from, Jekyll and Hyde, you go from nice guy to everything's horrible, and, all of that stress is running downhill. And that's not a good way to manage and motivate salespeople either. Uh, I call this the Top Gun manager, and several of these type managers, and I'll explain what I mean by that, I have really gotten along with and enjoyed. But they're kind of a fly by the seat of my pants type mentality. I'm going to run 90 to nothing, full steam ahead. And usually what happens is they get a lot done in the short time, but then there's some sort of crash that there's not a balance between the energy and passion and the other managerial tasks that we're going to discuss. And that's not a very good long-term strategy. So ultimately what we're going to get to and good qualities of management, and certainly in Christian managers, is being genuine, qualified, and well-trained. So, characteristics of management, these have been studied, and the first one we'll talk about is extroversion. Simply put, extroversion is being outgoing, having high energy, being able to communicate well, not being introverted, not being inside yourself, but being outside and able to connect with people. Negative affinity is the next characteristic we'll talk about, and basically that's not being a negative person. It's being positive, having positive energy, positive outlook, very encouraging and motivating. And both of those are not just good qualities of managers, but I would say that they are fundamental and basic requirements for a manager to be able to be encouraging and motivating. Agreeableness is typically a good characteristic that all managers need. One example that this would probably not apply to is military. Military commanders really don't have to be agreeable, and their troops really don't have to like them. There just has to be a level of managerial there. So, kind of set that aside. Typically, in all other business aspects, we don't want managers to be argumentative. They need to have some level of agreeableness. Conscientiousness is a very good characteristic of all workers, but certainly we need that of managers. They need to be conscientious of their work. dedicated, diligent, and ultimately it's to do the right thing, to do what is right. And a lot of times that's doing what is right when no one's looking, when no one's watching. Openness to experience is basically not being closed minded. It's open to new ideas and new concepts. Being able to, one of the popular terms now for this is to think outside the box, to look for new ways, and to be innovative. Now we'll talk about managerial tasks. One of the first tasks in all manager jobs is planning, and depending on your level of management, whether it's upper level or mid or a lower level management, there's always planning involved, and that's goal setting. So you could be goal setting for an organization and different levels of management, or you could be goal setting just for your particular team. Controlling is an aspect, a task of management that's evaluating how well those goals are being accomplished, as well as evaluating the people that are working for you to accomplish those goals. Leading is part of management. Leading and managing are not interchangeable. Leading is one task that managers should be able to do as to be effective. And basically, that's setting a clear vision for your team or your employees. You need to be able to positively influence other people's behavior when you lead them, and lead by example. Organizing again can be at very different levels. You could be organizing the entire structure of your organization from top management to middle management to lower management, or you could just be organizing what's necessary for the use of resources for your particular team. Managing people, that's one of the big aspects of managers. And a simple Google search or very basic research will tell you that managers are one of the top reasons people leave their current positions. If that manager-employee relationship is constantly contentious and stressful, the employee is not going to want to stay there. So the manager-employee relationship is crucial. Managers have to be genuine, caring, and professional. If you've ever met people, and most of us have come across people in our past that are not genuine, it's usually easily identified, at least over time. So being genuine and honest with your people is crucial. Lead by listening. But listen to both what employees are saying about their job, their situation, their positives as well as their negatives, and then listen to what they're not telling you. And stress is a part of life, and managers need to be able to handle stress and create emotional stability at work. Next, we'll talk about some of the challenges and recommendations. Communication. A lot of situations for work now, we're not all in the same office setting, and we don't get that face-to-face communication like maybe had been at one point before the digital age, and people were more managed in a confined setting. But whether you're having communication face to face or having it through some digital mean, open exchange of ideas is crucial for managers to be able to lead. And then you can use technology, GoToMeeting or WebEx or whatever, to help create more of the personal type interactions and communications. Diversity brings a variety of ideas and different thoughts, and those are all things that can positively impact a company's direction. So embracing diversity is critical for managers, and most companies now do diversity training to help managers understand the need for diversity. But basically, it's being fair and objective in hiring, being fair and objective in your evaluation, not letting personal prejudices or beliefs interfere with the workplace and the managing of those people. Again, we're going to touch on stress as a challenge, because stress is a part of life, not just for the managers, but also for the employees. And managers need to understand that employees have personal lives, and that sometimes that stress is going to carry over to the workplace. So if they, again, are genuine and help the employees feel emotional stability, and that helps that relationship and will help that employee to feel valued and work harder. And managers, for their own personal stress, need to not let that overcome them, but have a roll off mentality, kind of let it roll off my back mentality. So, managers with a Christian worldview are going to use a lot of the principles that we find in the Bible and bring those basic principles that Jesus taught, bring those into the workplace. First, the golden rule that Jesus teaches us in the Gospels, to treat others the way you want to be treated. That's pretty simply stated, but a huge, huge principle when applied. Character, keep your good reputation. The Bible uses be above reproach. In the news daily now, you see people coming forth with old and current sexual harassment situations. Keeping your reputation and being above approach is critical for any manager, but certainly for a Christian manager, to be able to keep that sense of character and Christian, to be able to keep your Christian testimony is to be above reproach in the workplace. Another aspect is being self-controlled, not combative or slow to anger, being self-disciplined, being honest, being a hard worker. And through all of this, a manager needs to lead by example in the workplace. An employee is not going to want to work hard or be honest or do anything that they see you doing differently. So, just as a parent needs to be a good example for kids, managers need to be good examples in the workplace and lead by example. In conclusion, managers can come in many different shapes, sizes, forms, personality types. That's not what fits into being a good manager. Good managers will have the proper training for their role to be able to perform those tasks. They'll know what characteristics they need to develop or tap into to properly lead a team, like positive energy and to be able to be honest and hardworking, caring, open, passionate, genuine, energetic, and fair. I think that sums up the qualities of a good manager in most every role.